Hello and welcome to our Tuesday Aussie webinar. Thank you for joining us. We'll be underway in just a moment, waiting for our folks to arrive. What a great day today is. Lots of exciting news to share, and this is our week, Victory Week. Trades will occur this week. But more on that in a moment. Let's see, it's a little overcast today. Might see some rain. Other than that, life is good. Got so many things to review, I don't think we're going to cover them all today. But we'll be underway in just 1 minute when everybody arrives. Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. July 8th. A couple more folks popping in and we'll be underway. All right, well, we've got so much to cover today. I've got it all written down. 9 various things we'll cover. First thing we're going to do is some of the updates. First of all, this is our week. Ben has put together a trade that will occur this week, starting with just $400,000. And so that allows you and I to be able to do the same. So we're very excited that this first trade occurs, and we'll be able to ramp that up very, very quickly into millions. We're going to be doing that as Brightstar Work Center. We'll be able to do our own trains as Brightstar Work Center. So anything that you provide through these new protocols will assist us all. And so that's very exciting. And I know some of you are working diligently to get properties refinanced, bring funds to the table, and that's all going to be pooled and ultimately allow us to do what we need to do. We'll have more on that a little later on in this webinar. The second thing is that 2 major banks, Wells Fargo had consented a while ago, has not really done much of anything, but HSBC contacted the leadership last week and said that they're finally ready to start doing trades, and that'll be in the 100 million plus category. So they'll be moving forward as well, so they say. But then they've said that since last November, and that's why we've had all these delays. Excuse me, 1 week they're saying yes, we're doing it, next week they're saying no, who knows what. But the global reset, real close. Iraqi dinar, real close. But they say between now and August 12th, I mean, it's always being pushed out, like the whole world is being pushed out. But the fact is that it's got to happen, and it's going to happen, and hopefully sooner than later, but it will happen. So things are really looking good all around for funding for our projects now that we're in control, complete control of these trades, and that's so very, very important. We have our trader, we have our funds, we don't need banks. All right? If the banks want to come and play, you've got some banks that are still looking to work with us. That's great. Bring them on. We'll work with them. But the point is that we don't need them, and we're moving on without them. We've given them their chance, more than enough time, and we've all done a lot of work towards that. And at some point, you just got to say, I guess they're not going to do it because they're not on our side, and that seems to be the way it is. So, onward and upward. All right. Eddie has a large deal cooking with Dan. Dan's one of the members in Texas, real estate broker, that's been hanging around for about 5 years. And he's very alive with this program, loves the concept, and is moving forward. And we have 2 other real estate, former real estate agent brokers in California, Don and Steve, that are moving forward as well. So if you've got some people that are in real estate, bring them on as members, get them their free membership, get them started on the educational journey, and let's get to going on this thing, because this is really going to bring us all some serious funding. We're in the process, Eddie and Gary, obviously, as Bright Star Work Center, of moving diligently in this direction. We have a member coming on board with an overview this Friday. There's 3 different ways that it can be done. Obviously, there's the real estate protocol, there's the Fetus Bank contract, and there's the energy store. And so we'll be presenting those 3 options to this individual who has a home paid for. And so the equity's there, and they'll have the choice of which one they want to do. And so we'll see what the results are. But good things are happening. Let's move on. One of the things that will happen very, very quickly as we get these deals cooking is, for my fuel club, very, very near and dear to me as the creator. We want to get my fuel club ramped up and funded, and so as soon as we can get these trades going for Bright Star, that'll be first priority. So we'll get the fuel club going so we can get back out there and make whole all of the members that are with us, pay the rebates, the fuel rebates, and the bonuses. All that'll be cleared up, and that thing will ramp up real quick and move real fast, because we'll be able to prove that we've already paid it out. And once that happens, I know we'll go holistic. So keep on keeping on, still talk about it, still encourage people to do it, because it's a great way to get BVK. And BVK is very, very valuable, especially when you see what's occurred in the United States this past week. So it's very, very exciting to have BVK. I do want to point out a website, and let's just see if this is it. Yes, no, Energy Store, Ultimate College of Commerce. There we go. Okay, we have a website that I've had for quite a while. It's called the Ultimate College of Commerce. This is a website that's a joint venture for Burl Wolk and myself, his company, and Bright Star. And this has been worked on over the weekend. There's 40 some odd pages in here, I believe now, and it is a great starting point for brand new members. You can use this. I'm creating another one under Gary Douglas Holmes. It'll be different format, but it will be similar. And I guess I have to share screen to do that, don't I? So let's share a screen, because we're getting started on the share screens. Screen, we're going to do this one. All right, so here we go. Ultimate College of Commerce. This is, I think, a fabulous website for you to get starting brand new people with, because it has only current information. All right, the LegacyAssurance.net site, Financial Hope, has a lot of old stuff that could confuse brand new people. And so it's designed to take people through the whole concept of the high cost of education. There is a benefit program that Burl offers that we don't, but anyway, how we will learn and retain information, success, what is it, handling of objections. This is the section that we want people to get started with, and that's the Getting Started session, which has 4 videos. And it has the written documentation as well. And if people would just follow this, they'd be successful and become wealthy too. So it's a great place to get your brand new people going. Then we get into the problem, and it goes through modern money mechanics, which is the Federal Reserve of Chicago, banking and finance and money, which is that Australian McDermott guy. Then the solution, Professor Antel Ficchetti's first document. Then the hotel story corollary, real bill and gold, more real bills, so those are Ficchetty stuff. What is the dollar? What's really going on? Status update July 4th, and what is a real bill? Bills of exchange, IBOs and WAPNs. Then we come into solutions, safer banking, and then the International Bank of Miyakamui, then Bitcoin versus BVK. how to get BVK, educational links, definitions, and funny little thing that I did. Okay, so there's a website that you can be sending to brand new people. There's no way you can sign up on this website. It just says get back to your sponsor, and it has my contact information at the Ultimate College of Commerce. But a great tool for you to use. Soon there'll be one at Gary Douglas Holmes as well, which will be more for BrightStar people. But still, you can use either one you want. All right, they're both available to be used. Okay, so we've covered that. Now, okay, business advisory. Business advisory. All right, this is on the website. New link, big link, right here, business advisory. And this is, as of July 4th, major breakthroughs. Little historical background, great for people trying to understand the concept of alternative currencies. Zcash was, quote, born, created in 1996. Chips were first used in 1999, and in 2006, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission began an investigation that led to a lawsuit in U.S. federal court in Houston, Texas, that included in its ramifications an attempt to have Zcash and chips declared to be securities. That lawsuit provided a forum whereby Zcash and chips were presented without dissent to have USD value of $2 USD per each Zcash and chips to be valued at $1 US. Proof was provided through declaration of associated funding as presented by the U.S. SEC to the court. That lawsuit ended with a mutually accepted consent decree that no judgment regarding Zcash and chips being securities was rendered by the federal court, I should say, and thus no precedent was set by that litigation. However, the unique thing is that after that case was closed, in a ruling associated with a tax audit, the IRS declared that income obtained through the payment of USD bank deposit funds for the transfer of chips in accordance with the Internet Catalog Club protocols was to be declared as ordinary income and not as capital gains. Digital currency came under scrutiny again in the U.S. federal court in Houston, Texas, in a government lawsuit related to Bitcoin. That lawsuit resulted in the court ruling that Bitcoin is lawful USA currency. That ruling did establish a legal precedent. In consonance with that legal precedent, this week, July 4th, two states, California and Massachusetts, have passed legislation making digital currencies legal tender. That legislation opens the door wide for business as initially conceived and embodied by the Internet Catalog Club in 1996, to have our own internal currencies, and they are now legal tender in California and Massachusetts. To more firmly comply with these new laws, Bitcoin is now acceptable, as are other listed currencies, to acquire tickets through the Internet Catalog Club product section of the treasure chest portal of chips-corner.com, which tickets may be exchanged for the same number of Zcash, regardless of the currency used to acquire the tickets. So now people can use Bitcoin, and they'd be really smart to be moving their Bitcoin into Zcash. You've got to read our Bitcoin versus BVK, and you'll start to understand the power of what we've got going on here. Thus, as of this publication, Zcash has reemerged as the cornerstone of club business, and Bitcoin value has firmly been established as equivalent on a unit basis to USD, Euro, and other listed currencies. Through tickets, listed currencies may be converted to Zcash with the same unit exchange rate, making all exchangeable currencies have the same value. Chips registered, in effect, double that value. Well, that would be a smart thing to do, don't you agree? that you can double your value by moving your Bitcoin into Zcash, and from Zcash you get your chips. So Wappen and IBOs may be exchanged for Zcash, tripling the value for the acceptor beneficiary. Chips registered in effect provide a total of 6 times that value, and subsequent use of Zcash provides an additional equivalent value of chips. Thus, using Zcash for clearing a Wappen IBO, the value of these documentary funds can be multiplied by a factor of 9. Wow. All right, so you've got Wappen and IBO, $100,000 for the Wappen, $200,000 for the IBO. That's $300,000. 300,000 times 9, that's $270,000. Is that right? Anyway, you get my drift. So clearing for Zcash and chips with additional leverage value has been available for ICC rules found in the library since 1999, which we've never done. Clearing for Zcash and chips through the commercial exchange kiosk has also been available for many years, which it's never been done. Clearing as per ICC rules remains unchanged. However, as of this publication, clearing through the commercial exchange kiosk has been modified. Clearing is a commercial process, and arrangements have been made for the commercial exchange kiosk to now use business executed through the energy store found in chips-corner.com as its commercial clearing method. Clearing as per ICC rules involves the transformation of Zcash and chips into what are called bricks, blocks, and fat cats, with subsequent engaging in factoring of purchase orders. Clearing through the energy store involves promoting the use of that facilities by parties that include components of the energy solution in purchases or projects they undertake. Thus, to take advantage of either clearing method as a method, a member must be proactive in promoting commerce. In short, each member is empowered to promote business and have profits used to provide clearing, and without this active participation in business by a member, there will be no clearing for Zcash or chips to benefit that member. This is not a matter of policy, it's a requirement of law. Because of the leverage of the value provided through Zcash and chips, a passive stance by a benefiting member could cause clearing to possibly be considered as an action regulated by securities laws. Thus, to underscore, all clearing of Zcash and chips to benefit a member requires active promotion of commercial business by the benefiting member. As an example of use of Zcash and chips to increase value, taking advantage of the now explicit status of legal tender that California and Massachusetts have provided to digital currency, as well as the USA federal court proceedings and rulings, plus USA IRS ruling at the request of a member or as may be instructed by its board, the International Energy Corporation could satisfy its contract to discount Wappen and IBO by exchanging these for Zcash and chips. To facilitate this, the commercial exchange kiosk would accept Zcash and chips thus obtained and submitted by IEC, the same as the submittals from any vendor. That would multiply by 3 the value that the party contracting to have Wappen and IBO discounted could receive. A member receiving Zcash and chips through this process may legally use these to directly engage in business, or may choose to exchange these for USD bank deposits through ICC rules and through the commercial exchange kiosk. To further enhance business use of Zcash and chips for members that already have Zcash and or chips, or that may obtain these through discounting, until further notice, no new issues of Zcash will be undertaken through the Internet Catalog Club products without prior approval by Club admin. Only requests through centers will be considered, thus access by others to Zcash and chips, and the leveraging these can provide is mostly restricted to negotiation with members that already have these. So if you've already got them, you are in a powerful position, because there isn't going to be any more issued unless it's been approved by Brightstar and then by the Internet Catalog Club administration. The practical the practical result of measures discussed herein is that members are expected to promote clean energy in any of the forms suggested in the energy solution in chips-corner.com in order to receive full benefits related to club business. Now, all the other protocols are still available. They're all available, but the focus wants to be and needs to be on the energy store and the energy solutions. Real estate protocols and the Fetus Bank contract, absolutely. We're doing all of those here at Brightstar. So we can move forward with great haste in that area. As a footnote, the acceptance of Bitcoin as currency by the Internet Catalog Club with the exchange of Bitcoin for Zcash and chips as per protocols, which leverage the value thereof and allows for clearing through commercial processes, as indicated herein, can protect Bitcoin users from doomsday scenarios recently discussed and published by Bitcoin panel. So they're concerned about Bitcoin, the challenges that are coming down the road with it. Remember, it's backed by nothing. It's created out of thin air, just like every other fiat currency, and it is so volatile that they're concerned about it. Well, we can solve all of those problems as we have the ability to solve people's problems for any issues that they have. Any of their needs can be met. They just have to work to do it. All right? So if they want to, great. If they don't, we don't care. We're doing this ourselves, and we're moving forward. And we invite you to come with us and work with us, and we'll be teaching the information that we learned from this first trade this week to those that are actively involved with us, and those will be the beneficiaries. So it's pretty exciting. Eddie is just raring to go. He's hoping to put this deal together with Daniel this week, and that'll be one of the first ones that we can work with. So please go through this, get a list of your questions, get it off to me, and I will do my best to answer your questions. All right, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the changes in the energy store. Oops, wrong one. Energy store. Now, again, the nice part about the energy store changes is that they have put section for examples. So as we are successful in putting these programs together, we'll be able to have some examples. Now remember, everyone is unique, everyone is different, but these will give you some ideas, and that's what I had requested, and that's what they have done. So that's really good. So hopefully you're seeing this particular screen. Energy store, revision 1. So this has been revised. The energy store only accepts business proposed by International Energy Corporation hereinafter IEC as per the terms and conditions of chips-corner.com. Any member of the Internet Catalog Club may negotiate through Brightstar Work Center for IEC to use the energy store to make paying for any size purchase or project a net zero cost proposition. I'm going to read that again. The energy store to make paying for any size purchase or project a net zero cost proposition. So come and work with us. Your project will cost you nothing. Any size, any project. Now, having said that, $10,000 is the least that you can work with in terms of a project. Okay? The key is to select a concept from the energy solution found in chips-corner.com and negotiate to include it in a proposed purchase or project to be made by IEC through the energy store for approval. Now, this is so broad and so wide open, it's amazing. And understand that the energy store has so many different solutions, and so if you want to buy a property of any kind, just throw in some solar panels. All right? Take it off the grid, and that qualifies you for any type of property, a farm, a business, warehouse, home, gas station, doesn't really matter what it is. That's how you can use the energy store, by just providing an alternative energy solution. You need to buy trucks, you need to buy any types of vehicles. Well, all new vehicles run cleaner than old vehicles. So that in itself is an energy protocol, clean energy. Okay? So you can include your vehicles, anything you want, through the energy store. Your proposed purchase or project must be submitted through Brightstar, so same old, same old. You get your protocol together, your project, you send it to me, we review it together, then I go ahead and submit it for review, but there is a change here. So you send your email and the purchase or project. The email from a center must include an invoice from a purchase for 500 tickets USD and must include proof of payment of that invoice. So that's $5,000. Now, out of that $5,000, it's no different than the fetus voucher. You, as the person submitting it for somebody else, can receive Chips Exchange for cash at whatever the breakout is. I forget what it is, 7%, something like that. Tickets USD may be acquired through the menu listing of the energy store, and that's up here on the left-hand side. That's where we place the order. I do the ordering, so you don't have to worry about that. Members may complete profit-producing work tasks assigned by a center to obtain U.S. bank deposit funds to pay the invoice for the tickets USD instead of paying the invoice with out-of-pocket funds. So get out there and start promoting these programs. Bring them to us, and you'll get your $5,000 covered if you're going to present a new protocol. Now, obviously, if you've already got an MOU in place, everything that's in the past is still in the past. It's still going to be brought to the table. So all of the previous protocols are there. But again, if you want to see them move faster, then work. All right? For those of the people that bought MBTMs 4 years ago, 5 years ago, depending upon how long they've been with us, and they're doing nothing, well, they'll get nothing. They've got to do work by law. If not, the SEC is going to come in and try and shut us down, and that will never happen. The USA firm that manages funds for the club has a brokerage account, hereinafter account, with a major USA brokerage group. Now, this is outside of any banking relationship. This is super exciting. So we don't need banks anymore to do what we need to do. We're set. We're ready to go. So a member wanting to make a purchase or fund a project may provide partial or full payment as may be negotiated with the energy store for the cost thereof by acquiring tickets USD ES energy store for an amount selected by the member through the menu listing of the energy store, which will automatically allocated for the use by the IEC. Now, you can take your 5,000, submit your project, it's approved, then you're going to need minimum $10,000. And what they'll do is they'll take that $10,000 to trade and extrapolate it up to whatever you're going to need, $1 million, $10 million, $20 million. So the more you put in, the shorter the period of time it will take to get what it is you need. Now, I know you're saying, well, this doesn't work, it hasn't worked. Well, we don't care. If you don't believe it hasn't worked, well, it's going to work this week. And I'll show you the example that's being done right now. And then from there, as you'll start to see others, then you'll get the confidence to move forward. That's great. If you never move forward, that's great. Your choice. I've made my choice. Eddie and I are moving forward post-haste because this solves all our problems and gets us all the funding that we need to do whatever we want, and we are in complete control. The banks can't stall us anymore. So for major amounts, arrangements may be made with IEC for professional contracted by IEC to trade using members' accounts and transfer profits as payment to the account. For smaller amounts, funds to transfer as payment to the account may be earned through profit-producing work tasks assigned by a center. So you can work. We aren't looking for anybody to spend any money. What we really want is the work. Bring people to this protocol. Have them do the work, and then you'll be compensated through the protocol, and that can be used for your project. A member may negotiate the amount and method of payment through a center. Tickets USD ES will be allocated by IEC to obtain Zcash to pay for the purchase or project. Additional Zcash that may be required to complete the funding for an approved purchase or project may be provided by IEC using self-liquidating credit collateralized by the private bank fetus. The Energy Store will select vendors as suppliers for the purchase or product. Vendors may be recommended by members, a center, or by IEC. Vendors that will accept Zcash and chips as currency will be preferred, and Zcash payment to these vendors would be immediate. If a vendor will not accept Zcash but is selected to be used as a supplier, as per arrangements with the club, funds transferred to account as payment for tickets USD ES would be made available for an IEC contracted professional to engage in non-depletion trading that would not diminish the value in the account. So this first deal for $400,000, that $400,000 is going to grow. It will never ever go away. Now this is where it gets exciting. 40% of the net profits after payments of costs and fees would be used by the club to exchange for Zcash presented by IEC, so that the vendor does not accept Zcash may be paid by the Energy Store in USD to bank deposit funds, thus clearing the Zcash. As a result of the IEC acquiring the Zcash, chips equal in value to the Zcash would be registered by the club for the benefit of IEC. If a selected vendor accepts Zcash as payment, additional chips equal in the value to the Zcash would be registered for the benefit of IEC. As per arrangement with the club, after vendors selected for the purchase or project have been paid either with Zcash or with USD bank deposit funds from trading profits, 40% of the profits from continued trading would be used to clear all chips registered for IEC because of the purchase or project transaction. However, payment made to IEC in exchange for chips would be in the form of U.S. Treasuries, up to 1/2 a value equal to twice the value of the tickets USD presented by the member, of which would be provided to the member that funded the purchase of tickets USD ES, used in the process as a rebate made in accordance with the agreements between the club, the Energy Store, IEC, and the Blue Millennium Foundation. That is, half of the chips exchange funding thereof and the treasuries acquired therewith would belong to the foundation, and the rebate would legally be provided by the foundation. After payment for a purchase or project has been satisfied, and after treasuries have been acquired and used as indicated, the member will automatically be provided Zcash equal in value to twice the payment made for the tickets USD ES. Through self-liquidating credit using funds in account as collateral, this Zcash will automatically be cleared through the commercial exchange kiosk for the benefit of the member in the same manner as it could for the vendor. Trading would continue, and 40% of the net profits would be used to clear the Zcash, thus providing the member an equal amount to twice the original payment for tickets USD ES. So as you can see, your project will cost you nothing. You've got the first segment, then the second segment, and you get twice the value of what the deposit was. From the beginning of trading until the provision is completed. Now this is where you come in. 25% of net profits would be used to pay for clearing of Zcash and chips presented to the commercial exchange kiosk for the benefit of the sponsor that promoted the use of the Energy Store by the member that acquired the tickets USD ES. So somebody comes to the table, puts in 10 grand, you get $2,500 to exchange your Zcash and chips. 5% would be allocated to the firm that owns the account as a service fee. 10% would be allocated to the private bank fetus as a bank management fee for overseeing all operations and guaranteeing clearing of Zcash and chips as described herein by assuring the safety and non-depletion of funds in the account. Number 4, 10% would be allocated as sale profit to the Energy Store. 3%, 1% each, would be allocated for clearing to Zcash and chips for Alpha, Beta, and Omega. So this is where we have a 4-level payout so that you can sponsor your brand new people through the overview, bringing in their $100, giving them a package. I've got 19 packages available, so if you don't have a one-member place and ICC memberships and you want to start doing this, let me know. Then 2% would be allocated for clearing of Zcash and chips for the international logistics manager that works with the center that submitted the purchase or project for approval. And then number 7, 5% would be allocated for clearing to Zcash and chips for the center. So that 2 and the 5, that's for Gary and Eddie. Time required depends on the value of tickets USD ES allocated for the process and on market conditions for trading. Obviously, if they start with 10,000, they need $1 million. It's going to take a lot longer than if they brought 500,000 or 400,000 in the example we're going to share with you. Now, after all of the above is completed, the transaction will be accepted by all parties as having been completed, and the funds in the account will be the property of the club. At any time after 90 days from payment having been transferred to the account, the member that had provided the payment may opt to terminate the transaction unless the payment was made with funds obtained through trading, in which case this possibility for termination will not be applicable. In the event a transaction is terminated by a member as provided for above, the value of the benefit received by the member through the transaction up until the termination will be deducted from the payment amount provided by the member, and the remainder will be transferred to coordinates specified by the member as a buyout of any and all contractual obligations associated with the transaction. The member would be responsible for all costs involved in the transfer of funds for the buyout. Other than as indicated herein and governed by the terms and conditions in chips-corner.com and associated websites, no party related hereto has any obligation or liability towards any other party hereto, and all parties are to be held harmless accordingly. Participation in business through this website constitutes explicit acceptance of all of the above. In the event the above is found by authorities in a jurisdiction to be governed by securities laws, rules, or regulations, it will be incumbent on the member to arrange affairs so that said finding will not be applicable. For example, a member may choose to have an attorney legally arrange for the member to do business through a special purpose vehicle selected by the attorney for the member in an alternative jurisdiction, or to terminate the transaction as provided for herein. Otherwise, all proceeds in excess of the value of the payment made by the member for tickets USD that would benefit the member will be redirected to the Blue Millennium Foundation. All right, that's a mouthful. I want you to reread it a gazillion times. I want you to make a list of all your questions. I want you to submit them to me so we can start to better understand what this protocol is saying. But let's look at the example. All right. In this particular case, a real estate development project may cost $8 million. It's a strip mall condo that's close to the ocean, okay? An amount of $405,000 USD may be made available. All right, what they're doing is they're doing the real estate protocol, and they're pulling out of the property $405,000. The $5,000 is to cover the ticket acquisition, 500 tickets, to submit the protocol for the project for consideration. For the project to be approved, the member proponent may agree to add the purchase of 10 LMF computers to be used as indicated in the energy solution. Okay, that was pretty simple, wasn't it? That would increase the project cost to $8,700,000 US. Now the remaining $400,000 could be used to acquire tickets USD ES so that the full amount would be transferred to account described in the energy store. Trading using those funds could begin creating a verifiable cash flow related to the project. The project could be funded as cash flow permits, or construction financing may be used with the verifiable cash flow providing proof of repayment capability. The project could be funded using the construction financing and possibly sold for 12.7. The cash flow from the trading could continue as contracted, creating unencumbered income. Now that's going on this week. And so what they're going to do is they're going to take this property, they're going to pay off the liens, they're going to pay the $5,000 to get the 500 tickets, 400,000 goes into trade. They're buying the 10 MLF computers to get the 8.7 million, and the project will be able to get financing, interim financing, because of the cash flow, and they've got it sold for 12.7 million. So they're going to make $4 million on this project. Done deal. People are in place, ready to go. Now, do I have the skill set to do this? Absolutely not. Do real estate brokers know how to do this? Absolutely. They do it, in some cases, all day long. So we need to find the professionals that can understand this type of opportunity. And there'll be other examples that will be coming forward as we do them, but that's example one. So that's pretty exciting. Now, I do want to spend a little bit of time on the commercial exchange kiosk. Now, the commercial exchange kiosk used to have a whole pile of things in here, but everything we're doing now will be done through Zcash and chips. Simplifies everything. Zcash and chips are declared currency by 2 states. More will follow, I'm sure, as the global reset occurs. Amazing things are going to happen. So if you have Zcash or if you have chips, here's what you need to do. You can't do this, but you bring it to us. Zcash USD. Zcash may be cleared and exchanged for a USD bank deposit through a process of professional trading senior financial instruments and using profits to buy senior instruments to then be transferred to a designated account, institutional accounts coordinates, and sold to provide USD deposits for liquidity in receiving institution. For this process to function, liquid USD funds must be available in an account designated for electronic trading using non-depletion transactions that cannot diminish value, and not allowing any transfers of value out of the account other than is set forth in the contractual instructions provided to the holding institution. When a member of the Internet Catalog Club that is authorized to use the commercial exchange kiosk to clear Zcash, the member will use this location to transfer Zcash into a clearing account established at the time of transfer for the transaction. This clearing account will be created and identified by the invoice number of the Zcash transfer. The member is then responsible for arranging for a liquid fund to be available for trading. This may be accomplished by the member promoting the use of the energy store for others to undertake purchases and projects. The clearing will take place to the benefit. The member is described in the energy store, so 25%. Transfer of Zcash for clearing is irreversible, and timing will depend on the amount of liquid funds available, on market conditions for trading. If trading related to a promoted use of the energy store produces more profits than are required to clear the Zcash transferred by a member, the excess would be accumulatively accounted for using Zcash transfer invoice number as an identifier to be used as the member may transfer additional Zcash to be cleared. So you bring a large project to us, you only wanted 100,000 and you've got 200,000, that's going to be available for you to transfer the Zcash at that point. To use the profits thus accumulated, the member must submit the identifier for the subsequent Zcash transfer request. Multiple previous identifiers may be submitted with a new request. Periodically, vacated identifier accounts may be eliminated from the records. Okay, review this. Any questions? And so you've got 1 million, you need to do 5 million in Zcash. I've got 30 some odd million in Zcash. Same thing for chips. So I'm not going to read it, but it's basically the same concept. Okay. So these are all the latest and greatest and newest updates. So please review them, get your list of questions together, and let's work towards having those questions to me so that I can get them answered for our Thursday webinar, and we can sail along without further delay. All right, I'm going to take a moment and go back over the Ultimate College of Commerce, and to show you what's here in a little more detail, I'm just going to click on some of the links so that you can better understand how to use this. In the 2014 news events, I put up the Sovereign Man newsletter, which was rather interesting, and it's obviously they can subscribe to it for free, and so I've just put in here I would recommend the review of segment 2, leverage money, and our safer banking links on the left-hand toolbar, and I'm calling myself Dean Douglas in this protocol. Okay, so that's the first segment there. High cost of education. How many people are out there sending their kids off to college? $1 trillion in debt, American student loan debt. All right? Absolute insanity. So College Board reports the following average 2012 to 2013 tuition. This is just 1 year. $8,000 for public 4-year in-state students, public 4-year out-of-state, $21,000, room and board, obviously. Private nonprofit 4-year, $29,000. For-profit schools, $15,000. So let's just take the smallest amount. Family's going to come up with basically $40,000 over 4 years to send their kid to college. Put the $40,000 into the Energy Store protocol, pay off their house, buy a new one, and in 4 years they're millionaires. Why spend thousands of dollars? That's money you may be borrowing from family, banks, or worse yet, the government, to go deep in debt, graduate, and can't find a job in your chosen field of study. I mean, that is insanity, folks. So use these tools. Then we have, I'm going to be doing videos on most of these. So how we, the benefits section, let's just quickly go there. There's a discount program basically for the United States that he offers. There's some other things we'll be filling in there as well as he updates them for me. How we learn and retain information. Obviously, this is a online Ultimate College of Commerce, so you can watch the video, you can read along with it, or you can watch the video that's got the screen share. Success, what is it? The 4 wannabes and the 4 wanna-haves, the documents there, and the videos there. Handling objections, YouTube videos there, everything's there. Getting started, 4 videos. This is what you need to take brand new people through. All right, very, very simple to understand, gives them the concept, gets them signed up with you, and away you go. And you're going to be able to make some money off of it. Then we have the problem. And so there's an overview here of the problem, Rothschild overview. There's only 4 countries left, plus Bougainville, that do not have a central bank. Can you believe that? That's amazing. That's how powerful these Rothschild people have been in thwarting the efforts of anybody trying to escape them. They even just sick the U.S. military on them and blow you up if you don't take on a central bank. Amazing. Okay, then we have the individual links, modern money mechanics. So a little preamble, then the actual book itself from the Federal Reserve of Chicago, then banking, finance, and money. Once you've read the modern money mechanics and you see how they hide the truth in plain sight, how they make money out of thin air, this goes on in great detail to explain it that the layperson can understand. So now we've covered the problem. Now we go to the solution. There is a video link. I've actually done a video on this one. I think it's so important that everybody internalize this. This is so very important that we understand commerce. And so we've got that. Then the hotel story corollary, just a shorty, but done in YouTube, the written version if you want to download it, and here it is here. Then the questions are asked, and then we try and answer all these questions through these subsequent articles. Real bills in gold, another Fichetti, and again for best results, read aloud. Then we go to more real bill fallacies. We have done videos on these for you guys, and they're recorded, of course, but I haven't done the videos on these yet, and I may just provide them from the other website. I don't know yet. I think I'll probably keep it clean and just do them eventually. But it does take time and energy. What is a dollar? And so great information on what a dollar is. It's not what you think it is. We've all been lied to. And what's really going on. And this was done by Ben. And so great, valuable tool. Little dated, but still valuable information. And then status update, which is the business advisory, July 4th, so it's current, talking about where we've been, the fact that we have 2 currencies internal, that we accept Bitcoin. So anybody that's searching the World Wide Web, they're going to say, oh, you guys accept Bitcoin, well, you must be doing something right. I don't know why anybody has any thoughts of positive mindset about Bitcoin, but anyway, it's certainly making a lot of things happen, and so more power to them. What is a real bill? A couple of links there. Lots of information. And then the Bill of Exchange, IBOs, links, what a whopping is, and again, everything I do has the link to chip-corner.com. I never build a website that would take what a whopping is, because if it changes here and they can't find the original source here, I get in deep. So that's why it has the links to all these things. Safer banking. Private banking, getting it done. So a Fetus Bank contract, we all know about that. That's what we're talking about. Then the business advisory, again, I put it again here. I want that thing everywhere. And Safer Banking with IBOM tells you now that you're an ICC member, you can go ahead and get yourself an IBOM account. Tells you what you have to do to get it, and how we became involved with IBOM. Little history there, and background, the reason for doing it. So look at what we have for you. Participation in a Fetus Bank contract through commercial transaction created by buying tickets USD IEC for $100 or any higher amount. Immediately receive 360 chips, 1 chip equaling $1. Chips are usable immediately for purchasing ICC products, or may be held for 1 year, and Brightstar will buy your chips at full value, 1 chip equaling 1 USD. So at the end of 1 year, you've got 360 bucks. What's your bank account pay you locally? 0.0025%. I don't know what it is, but it's insignificant and not worth keeping your money there. So you need to be out there promoting free memberships or on credit memberships, however you want to promote your membership. Get people on board that you're already doing business with. If you're in the construction business, then obviously you've got all of the people you're dealing with. Get them a membership. And remember, you get chips every time you do something, and so do they. If they never do anything with their chips, who cares? But chips are super valuable. They're real money. It's already said by Massachusetts and the U.S. government and the IRS and California. All right, so I put in a little participation resulting transactions, commercial transactions. So 100 bucks gets you 360, 1,000 gets you 3,600, 10,000 gets you 36,000, 100,000 gets you 360,000, and a million gets you 3.6 million. And so it goes. Now you see why commerce through capitalism is better than finance through the debt money system. Profits are better than wages. The profits created from buying and selling of senior financial instruments is what makes this all possible, not interest. This is not an investment. So again, in your face. We're not an investment. These are commercial transactions that create the profits that create these kinds of funds. Then number 2, you can participate in an IBOM savings account at 5% interest compounded monthly. That's 60% a year interest. The minimum deposit for an ICC member to set up your account is $450. At 60% a year, you would have interest of $358.14. That's $808.14 from a $450 deposit. You almost doubled your money. All right, so standard calculation, base rate $450, interest rate 60%, effective annual rate is 79.59 because of the compounding. All right, so if we compare a $1,000 deposit, it gets you $1,795. IBOM is great, but as you can see, participation in Brightstar Work Center Fetus Bank contract allows for chips redeemable for $3,600 after 1 year. Remember, this is not an investment. We're not licensed to do investments. We do commercial transactions. You purchase tickets USD IEC, a product which includes the immediate receipt of chips. You can use the chips in IECC, or you can hold them for 1 year, and Brightstar Work Center will buy them from you at 1 chip equals $1 USD. Then I put in a compound interest calculator so you can see how quickly this can compound at 60% for you. And so great tools there. We have the overview of Bitcoin versus BVK. And so it goes through in detail the comparison as to why they say Bitcoin is so good, and then I've added the red comments to show that what we have with BVK is superior. And so then we say, well, how do you get BVK? Well, employee gold. I'll be putting up the video again on that one. And then from there, we've got some educational links, better understand why we're in the mess we're in. Interesting overview on the U.S. Constitution. And then finally, the definitions page. It's got some new things added. And this obviously is on the Financial Hope site, but I've added a lot more to it. I go into detail on chips and Zcash. We put in the business advisory again in here, why chips and Zcash are so valuable, which includes the Bitcoin concept, bill of exchange, detailed information there, purchase order, what else did I add to it? Swift negotiable instruments. Look at all this stuff I've added here. Financial instrument, you can click on all these links. Documentary funds, de jure, de facto. Okay, all these things are now been added. So we've got a great, clean little website. And I want to show you one more document. Let's open up a new link here. Financial Hope. You've got to see this. Anthony sent it to me. You've got to watch this. It's perfect. What a great tool. Oh, Bruce sent it to me. I'm sorry. Bruce sent me this, and when I watched it, I was blown away. You've got to watch Power to the People. It talks about alternative energies. What a great tool, Bruce, you've submitted for us guys to use to get out there and talk about the energy store. And it's talking about how people are getting off the grid and why in Australia they're not pushing forward with alternative energies because it's killing mainstream energies like coal and other generation protocols. The beautiful part is it's perfect for us because we can show that, yes, it's having an effect on existing industries. We can go to those existing industries and say, come do our energy store protocols, convert from your dirty coal, clean up your coal, and make a profit, because one of them was saying that they weren't making any profit. The other important thing is that we can promote hydrogen, because we hold all the contracts, and solar panels, and the power tubes. All of those things can be promoted. What a great third-party tool. So it didn't come from us. Thank you so much, Bruce. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so we're going to kick ass. I mean, this is it. We're here, guys and gals. I am so excited. We will have Marketing with Bonnie this week, and then we have the little note there that I put back on the 4th. That's pretty exciting. And so, again, reading some of the stuff here, I'll continuing to upgrade here as well. So I would hope that this has not overwhelmed you. It did overwhelm me, quite frankly, because it's got so much new information. But you just leave it for a couple of days, going over and over and over again, and then it settles in and it starts to feel more comfortable and you start to understand it. So please take the time to do that. I really need your input. I need any question. There are no silly questions. I may give silly answers, but please take the time to go through all of what we've discussed today, and let's go ahead and make sure that we get the questions in so we can get them answered. We've got to really be 100% on this. This is where we're headed. We're going to do it together. We're going to kick ass, and we're going to make a lot of money, and we're going to help a lot of workers do the same. So Lawrence says, great webinar today, excellent material, exciting news for protocols. We are pushing forward for the property protocol. Good, good, great. Well, here to help you on that. And Bruce says, we're totally agree, we're doing it. So wonderful input. Errol says, haven't heard from Jolly. Gee, that's another story for another time. I don't want to put it on a webinar. Okay, he's done some dumb stuff to himself, and he's been given a solution, and so far he's not done anything that's been visible for that solution. So life goes on. All right, so thank you for being here with me. Look forward to getting this webinar up on the site so you can watch it again and again. And great success that we're about to do. This trade is going to go through this week, and that's the start of turning $400,000 into a $12.7 million project, of which $4 million will be profit. And that's going to happen in no time at all. God bless you all. Thanks for being here.